I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. We're going to begin with a moment of silence and the pledge led by Ms. Horn.
Please face the flag. Salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And are there any elected representatives in the audience? I don't see any. We have 7 of 9 board members here tonight. We have one that may or may not make it, and the other, Mr. Norman, will not make it. They are both ill, so we need to keep them in our thoughts and prayers and recognize that there's still a lot of sickness going around. So we'll move on as best we can without them. A reminder, tomorrow night, Thursday night, Superintendent Thomas and our finance team will be hosting a community budget forum. That's March 7th at 6 o'clock. It will be at Northwest Middle School, and further details will be shared in a few minutes in the superintendent's report about that. I really hope those of you that are here tonight and might be listening on TV will consider perhaps attending this meeting. We as a board are making every effort we can to be transparent and open about the budget, about things that we're requesting, about possible things that may not be available next year. So please, if you have a personal interest or even an interest just as a community member overall, I'd like to encourage you to come to that meeting. I believe it is also posted online. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. So the budget, is posted online?
The meeting, the notice about...
No, I'm talking about the actual tentative budget proposal. Is that online?
No, what we've worked on for tomorrow is no new information that the board haven't heard, but it will be posted, this presentation.
All right.
So
that's another area of access then. Any people listening after tomorrow night then will be able to view what is handed out at that point.
And then also we will take questions as well. So folks, if they're not in attendance and they wish to email a question in about the budget, then
we'll certainly be open to those. Thank you. Your board has been hard at work this last few weeks. We've had several committee meetings. I'd like to say a special thanks. I was invited to chair a forum with the CAC leadership group, and I was joined by Missy Drennan and Shannon Jackson and Leanne Hahn from the Career Magnet Academy, and I was very proud of the way that they represented us and our schools in this forum. So thank you all for being there and representing Knox County Schools. That was very special, and I appreciated being a part of that. We've also had a Joint Education Committee that met, and Ms. Satterfield being the joint chair on that. If you'd like to speak to us a few minutes about that, it would be appreciated.
Yes, we had a really robust conversation regarding Budget 101. Joe Snyder did a great job with breaking it down to where if you have no idea about budgeting, you really understood what was going on. So thank you so much for doing that. We also shared the importance of why we need to reach teacher compensation and compare the salaries with similar districts such as Metro Nashville, Shelby County, and Hamilton County. Our wonderful Commissioner Larson J. had a lot of questions, which led us to really be able to dig in to how can the county really support and move our school system forward as well. And so he made a great suggestion as one of our meetings needs to kind of really look at the workforce development and where are the jobs going to be in the next 20 years and how can we really move our Knox County schools to make sure that we're producing quality when they graduate high school. But our next meeting is scheduled for April 17th. We're actually getting a lot of people in attendance, so it's a good time. And we, of course, will discuss budget because that's when we will have it approved by the school board. So thank you, Madam Chair.
You are welcome. Thank you for that. Another committee that has met that I'd appreciate a report from is our Strategic Planning Committee, and that's been chaired by Ms. Horn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We, Ms. Satterfield and Ms. Owen are on that committee with me, and we've met a couple of times. And board members, next Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we will meet, and we would invite you all to be there. We have a document that Ms. Coatney will finish, and Ms. Coatney's been a huge help also on this committee with getting the formatting and all of that. So she will have a copy out to the board for you guys to take a look at that probably by Monday, if not before. So if you can bring whatever questions or suggestions you have to that Wednesday meeting, we feel like that we're on track to have that on the agenda for April. And so anyway, any questions at this point on that? Okay, thank you.
And I'm correct, Ms. Horn, that we're very hopeful that after this meeting at 3 o'clock next week, that the product will be ready to present.
Yes, I do think
Great,
so. I think we'll be ready to present it in April.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And one other committee that has been very active this last month is our Superintendent's Evaluation Committee, and that's been chaired by Ms. Owen.
Our Superintendent's Evaluation Committee was planning to bring something to you tonight since it was a shorter agenda tonight, but we've determined that was a little too quick. And so Ms. Horn and Ms. Bounds and I have taken the evaluation tool that we used last year, and Ms. Hill was on that committee at the beginning. We've taken the evaluation tool that we've used in the past and reworked it so that things that maybe needed to be broken apart can be broken apart so that they can fit in other categories a little better. And as we've been doing that, we've looked at how to best express different metrics and our expectations of those metrics. And so I met with Mr. Thomas and Ron McPherson and Scott Bolton on Monday, and we looked at those some more, and we will have a copy to you also hopefully Monday or Tuesday. And we would like to tag on to the the Strategic Plan Committee meeting and just roll in an Evaluation Committee meeting at the end of that so that we can have a discussion about whether it reflects exactly what we're looking for. Okay, thank you.
All right, board members, and just to be clear, Ms. Coatney will send a reminder about our agenda and pre-meeting also for next week. Thank you, committee members. This board could not function without these committees and the active involvement, so I appreciate very much your support in that. All right, moving along. Are there any requested changes to the agenda? Seeing none. Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Owen?
For next time, do I need to remove that now, or
Let me see.
do I need to remove it next time? Okay, so I need to remove it.
Was it removed already? All right. All right. Hearing none. Motion to approve.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Thank you. That would be Owen and Horn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Our superintendent's report. Mr. Thomas?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the board, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone who attended the Teacher of the Year dinner on February 26th. We'll recognize our 3 district-wide winners at next week's meeting, but in the meantime, I wanted to extend our sincere congratulations to the near 200 school-level winners who were honored at our dinner. We know that each of these teachers could have been successful in many other endeavors, but we are very grateful for their sense of mission and their commitment to education and with Knox County Schools. As many of you know, I, along with several of our team members, joined Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs at New Hopewell Elementary School on Friday for Read Across America. This was a particularly exciting event because Mayor Jacobs announced a new initiative called Read City USA that includes Knox County Schools, the Great Schools Partnership, and the Knox County Public Library. The goal is to promote reading in part by encouraging more families to get all library cards and use library resources. You can find out more details about this important program at readcityusa.com. The Human Resources Department hosted a recruiting fair for certified and classified positions this past Saturday. It was a huge success. We had approximately 500 job candidates in attendance. At the job fair, representatives from various schools and departments of Knox County Schools were on site to meet and interview candidates. In addition, early employment agreements and signing bonuses were offered for certified and classified positions in critical needs subject areas, including advanced math, advanced science, chemistry, physics, English language learners, world languages, special education, speech and language therapy, and occupational and physical therapy. We issued 24 early contracts, 20 of those being special education, 1 in chemistry, 1 in French, and 2 in mathematics. As Madam Chair announced earlier, we will be hosting a community budget meeting at Northwest Middle School tomorrow, March 7. The meeting will start at 6 p.m. and will include a presentation by district officials and an opportunity for the public to ask questions. Our goal is to make the budget process as transparent as possible, and I'd like to personally extend an invitation to everyone who is interested. Another district goal is to communicate effectively with our families and stakeholders, and we've recently launched an email newsletter with that in mind. KCS Hall Pass includes teacher profiles, news about our students, and coverage of policies that affect district families. Please visit our website for more information and to subscribe. And finally, I'd like to remind everyone that spring break will run from March 18 through March 22nd. I hope our teachers, students, and staff have a restful, enjoyable break, and would encourage all of us to spend at least part of our break reading. Madam Chair, members of the board, this concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Next item on the agenda is an update on the Career Magnet Academy. Mr. Trent and Ms. Hahn, if you'd come forward.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Board, and Superintendent. Mr. Thomas asked us to get some numbers together for you, kind of look and see where we were headed after you all gave us approval to continue with CMA. So I hope that you have this in front of you. Ms. Coatney, I think, got that. We are super excited about what Ms. Hahn and Rocky Riley and Matt Mosley and her team has done. I think you'll be very impressed. So I'm going to have her share this because she's the one doing all the work. So I'm going to have Leanne to come up.
Thank you, Mr. Trent. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. We put together just some basic information for you to hopefully catch you up on what's been happening in the past 2 months. Recruiting-wise, we have had 158 total requests. The window has closed for the spring, but we will open up another one in the summer. And you can see the breakdown there, rising 9th, rising 10th, 11th, and we even have one rising 12th grader that has expressed interest. I was asked to put together some projections for the next 3 years. So if you look there, you can see not only what we project the total enrollment to be, but where I got those numbers. Again, we're trying to meet that goal of having 125 rising 9th grade transfers. We hope to grow the number of rising 10th through 12th grade transfers over the next couple of years, and then we know that we will lose some students moving, transferring, so we wanted to put that in there as well. Does anybody have any questions on that first page? Yes, so last year we ended up with about 55 freshmen, so we had 72 requests, and we're at 143 requests for freshmen now. So we're in much better shape this year than we were last year.
All right.
On the second page, I was asked to pull where, so you could see where our students are coming from. So you see there we have a large number of students from Carter Middle, Powell Middle. We have pulled quite a few from homeschool. A couple of students moved into Knox County when they were coming to high school, and they chose Career Magnet, so that's where those out-of-county students come from. And then our qualifying percentages to take classes upstairs at Pellissippi. Our current sophomore data, right now all we have is AccuPlacer data, and AccuPlacer is Pellissippi's entrance exam. They will take the ACT in April, and they will actually take the AccuPlacer again next week, so we'll have better information there. There's also a GPA component about qualifying. We won't have those final numbers until obviously the end of the semester, so we'll have better information about who definitely qualifies to take courses upstairs and which courses at the end of the semester. So we did want to say that right now, just based on those scores, 72% of our kids qualify to take some course upstairs. We have 23 of our sophomores in a college class this semester, and at least one. We have 2 of them that are in 2 college classes this semester. Our juniors, you can see the breakdown there. 42% of them are taking a general education Pellissippi class, and 23% of them are in a CTE Pellissippi course. And then the seniors' percentages are roughly the same there. We do have for the senior class, our projected graduation rate is 100%. Any questions?
Ms. Babb?
I was just wondering, have y'all started investigating a name change?
We have. Thank you for asking. So we opened up a window to take submissions. Our initial goal was to close that window on February 28th, and we've missed a little bit of school, so we extended that just so we could get a lot of input from parents and families. And so now we are in the process. We've closed that window, and we are forming a committee to look at all of the suggestions. We have about 65. Some of those are duplicates, and they're going to narrow that down to 3 or 4. So right now we have a member from Pellissippi, several students, some parents, and some teachers who are going to meet and narrow that down, and then we'll send those 3 to 4 names back out for a final vote. So once we have the name, then we will start exploring. We have someone waiting in the wings to give us a quote on a sign, but we just they want the name before they do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Horn?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for this information. Have you developed goals by grade level for what percentage of students you would like to see enrolled in Pellissippi classes, like for next school year, what those goals ought to look like?
So we will create some goals based on what our freshman class looks like at the end of this year based on their GPA. And so then we'll look to see, okay, who is realistic, who's right on the cusp, and then what do we need to do for those students who their GPA is going to prevent them from going up. So we will definitely make those projections at the end of this school year once we have that GPA data. That's a little bit harder to overcome than if I do poorly on a test. We can intervene and help that out. If my GPA isn't great, that is a little bit more difficult to overcome in the future. So if I don't do so well my freshman year, having that 3.0 GPA to take those general ed courses is a little bit more difficult. So we will make those goals. We'll set those goals once we have information about GPA.
Thank you.
Ms. Bounds?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Hahn, I just wanted to say thank you. This is a very simple, understandable, readable presentation, and I just appreciate what went into it to make it effective for the board.
Thank you. Matt Mosley did all of that. I gave him the numbers, and he made it look great, so thank you.
That is a gift he has, I do know.
Yes.
Yes. Any other questions or comments? Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad that it's turning. I'm glad that your numbers are up. It's wonderful news. Mr. McMillan, welcome. I appreciate the effort. I know you're not feeling
I
well.
apologize for being late,
All right.
and I certainly, since I was the one that asked for that, I would have enjoyed hearing it, but it just couldn't be avoided.
I understand. We're glad you made it. All right. Ms. Bounds, if there are no other comments, we'll move on to approval of the agenda, or, I'm sorry, to looking at agenda items. We've already approved it. I'm looking at the consent agenda, letter C. Questions, comments, item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I'm on board policies now. These are second readings, the first 4, so we will be doing a final vote on them next Wednesday night. Letter A, letter B, C, and D. Moving to letter E, which is a first reading. Questions, comments? F, G. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Dupler. Did you have a comment on F?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to let the board members know that I contacted Chair Hill and I contacted Superintendent Thomas this afternoon because frankly, I caught something today that I should have caught earlier. So if you look at line 11 of B200, Policy Development and Adoption, it talks about all policies and amendments shall be considered through 2 readings. The problem I have with all is that, I have an aversion to absolutes, and certainly this board in the past has, on rare occasion, used just 1 reading to pass a policy, and it does provide for that in another spot in the policies. So my proposal was to remove the word all from that sentence, and the executive committee has graciously obliged to do that, so I just wanted to let the rest of the board members know what we were doing, and that was simply to avoid a future conflict. But obviously, this policy is in favor of, in the vast majority of cases, 2 readings for a policy. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dupler, did I hear you say you had an aversion to absolutes? He's an attorney. I didn't know that was possible. All right. Moving on to G. H. I. J. K. L. And for those of you watching, this board has spent countless hours going over these policies. It might appear we're moving quickly, but Dr. Davis has led us in many hours of discussions on review before we got to tonight. All right, moving on. I'm looking at grants, number 8. Questions on A, B, C. Ms. Satterfield.
I just want to acknowledge I don't know who puts this grant together, but I wanted to say thank you for, who is it? I don't know. For the 21st century. I know the name. I don't know. It's okay. Well, she'll understand who it is. Yeah, Lord, there we go. Yeah, so thank you for taking the time to, the request to get Inshora Foundation into that grant, so thank you.
All right. Looking at D. E, F. Moving on to contracts. Letter A, B, and regular agenda items. Looking at letter A, B, and C. All right, that completed. We're moving on to public forum. Ms. Horn?
Madam Chair, we have no one signed up for public forum.
All right. Thank you. We will have board forum tonight, thanks to the reminder of Ms. Coatney. All right, District 1, do you have anything to report?
I do. I've been waiting all day for this. I want to say congratulations to the Austin East High School basketball team for making it to the state tournament. Hopefully, we'll get a state championship out of that. And good news, we have Green Magnet Academy. They had their 3rd and 4th graders participate in Destination Imagination, and they won first place. We were the only school to participate, well, only public school to participate from Knox County. So good job, Green Magnet. Their next competition is in Chattanooga on April 6th, so hopefully we take that win as well.
Thank you, thank you. District 2? 3 is out. 4?
Yeah, I just want to say I serve on the Teacher Supply Depot for the board, and they are having an opening tomorrow for people that are, it's formed as a PTA, and teachers can be members, and so it's a member-only event tomorrow night, and so it's great. And so even if you're not a member, you can come and join tomorrow night. I will be volunteering there. It's from 4 to 6, so I just can't believe all the great things that are at the Teacher Supply Depot that teachers can get for free. So just wanted to do a shout out for that.
Oh, thank you, that's wonderful. And 5? And 7? And 8? And 9. All right, in District 6, I just wanted to again thank our mayor for the Read Across America Day. He did also show up at Pleasant Ridge Elementary School, and we had a good time. And those of you that did not make it to Bearden Library and see him dressed as Dr. Seuss or Cat in the Hat, you missed quite a sight. So, at any rate, okay. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Ms. Horn, second.
Second.
Ms. Satterfield, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.